Here's your Kevin.
Hey, guys, it's Amber.
And Kristen.
And today we're talking about, because of course it is the infamous Derby week.
Which a lot of it was run from the flooding. Because
Yeah,
they didn't have
they
thunder over
canceled
Louisville and
Churchill, and
Mhm.
they didn't do, what's the fireworks show that they do
thunder
prior?
over Louisville.
Yeah. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
Oh. Anyway.
My host is a little bit out of her mind today.
So today is Thurby.
Thurby.
Yeah, Thurby. And okay, so I have a confession to make, and some of you regular Kentucky Derby fans may get upset with this, but I never knew what the Kentucky Derby even was before I moved to Bardstown.
Seriously?
Yeah, never even heard of it.
Oh wow.
In Harlan.
I remember. So I used to cheerlead, and I remember in school we cheered, and we would do fundraisers, and we got to work the infield on Oaks. And it was so much fun.
Yeah,
but it poured down rain the whole time.
I had no idea when I first heard about it was when my kids were in school and they had to do Derby floats.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Autumn did, Dylan did, but then they got like Oaks Day off or something. Like school is not in session on the day of the Oaks, or at least it wasn't at one point.
Yeah, it used to not be.
And I was like, what is the big deal about this freaking Derby?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And
apparently it
brings
a big
lot
deal.
of revenue to Kentucky. He wants to have
Now,
those open.
I have been to Keeneland.
Yeah.
But I still,
Isn't that in Lexington?
You know what? That's a lie. I have also been to Churchill. We went with my company that I used to work for. They took us to Oaks one year, but that was not really as fun as what I've heard other people talk about Oaks being.
Oh yeah.
In the infield.
Infield
Yeah.
Where you go.
But not anymore,
if you want
right?
to see boobies.
But that's not the case
I think
anymore.
they tamed it down. I mean,
because that's where Thurby came about. Because
yeah,
from my understanding, and this is just, again, I'm not a big Derby pro or nothing because I don't even like betting on anything.
Yeah.
But from what everybody has said in the past, Oaks used to be for like maybe the locals, and I use that in quotation marks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when like all the fun. That's when everybody was in the infield. That was like the place to be. And then Oaks became just about as big as what the actual Derby is, right?
Yep.
And so then they incorporated Thurby, which is now geared towards the locals, right? Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
Uh-huh. And what's ridiculous about that is that it's kind of like the Bourbon Festival. It stopped being local.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you want to bring people from outside of town as well, but you also want to keep your locals.
Well, it
invested.
Is insane to me the amount of people that will fly in just for Derby.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kid Rock is one of them. I think he always comes to Derby.
Yeah, there's several that come in. Not as much as that used to, but there's still quite a bit. Because I was just looking, like the tickets for the Derby are $220.
Now, but what is that? Because there's different places at Churchill
it's
that
general
you can
admission.
General admission.
Mm-hmm.
And see, before it was not in the infield was not that much at all, right?
No, the infield has always been pretty cheap. And maybe that's why it brought the class of people it did. I don't know, but it used to be a little bit cheaper than it is now. That's what I was looking, because so Derby's on the 3rd. Tomorrow is the
2nd.
Oaks.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know the difference between the Oaks and the Derby. and which horses run on which days.
The fillies, bless you.
Thank you.
The fillies run
You tried
on.
stealing my sneeze.
Well, I knew it was coming. I seen you.
I know, right? And
The-
then
The fillies run on oaks, right?
yeah.
That's all fillies.
a lot of people don't realize that like the Derby is the first run for the trifecta. Like I think I said that right, because there's 3 races they have to win to, oh gosh, what is it? Hang on.
See, I don't understand enough about horse racing to really even keep this conversation going. But it is Derby week, so
The Triple Crown. So it's the Kentucky Derby, then 2 weeks later it's the Preakness Stakes, and then 3 weeks later it's the Belmont Stakes. So it's the Triple Crown winner, not the trifecta.
So
the
what
trifecta is when you win first, second, third. Sorry.
So when Derby is what kicks it off, right? That's
Mhm.
what you said?
Yep.
But that is like the biggest race of horse racing history, right?
Yeah.
It's the Derby.
So I know you're familiar with Lexington and Versailles and all that.
Keeneland, yeah.
yes.
That's the one that I've been to.
So if you ever come to Kentucky and drive through Lexington, the thoroughbreds that will line that road and the farms, the horse farms that
Oh,
are
yeah.
just
It's beautiful.
immaculate. Like one of their stalls is nicer than my home.
So I wonder why then, I mean, that's the case. Most of these horses, I won't say most of them because I do understand that there are horses that come from all around to ride in the Derby.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a lot of Lexington horses in the Oaks and the Derby. My question would be, why is the Derby held at Churchill and not at Keeneland? You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense?
I don't think Keeneland's big enough.
Oh, okay.
Because Churchill Downs is.
You need what?
Sorry, y'all. We have a 3-year-old side guest.
Oh, balloon. He's got a balloon.
We'll give you a balloon here in a little bit, okay?
So back to the Derby. It says for 123 years, the Thursday before the first Saturday in May was relatively calm at Churchill Downs, especially in the notorious infield. That changed in 1997, the first year that the track opened up the infield to race fans on Oaks Eve.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is on the Kentucky Derby website, presented by Woodford Reserve. Each year, 20 horses have the once-in-a-lifetime chance to run in the Kentucky Derby. To earn a spot in the starting gate, they must travel along the road to the Kentucky Derby, a series of designated races at tracks across the country and around the world. Points are awarded to the top 5 finishers in each race. The 20 horses with the most points will earn a spot in the starting gate at the first Saturday in May. So this on this, it shows like the Futurity Trophy and all of the races that had to be taken to get to the Derby. So it is like the horses, no matter what, even if they're the horse with the worst odds, they are still an amazing horse.
Yeah.
That has like busted butt to get to where they are. And a lot of people don't agree with horse racing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that try to fight it because they say it's inhumane to the horses.
Honestly, kind of is, depending on how young they start the horse, because of their joints and their hocks and stuff. Nothing's developed when they start training these horses. And have you ever stood beside a thoroughbred?
No, I don't think so.
They will tower you. And they're not full grown when they're started in training. So my ADHD is like going to other conversations. But yeah, so they don't.
So this says the year that the Derby started in 1875.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the first Kentucky Derby was. And then Artisides crossed the finish line at Churchill Downs in that Derby.
Okay, so this says that it's 23-year-old thoroughbreds, and which is why it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, because only 3-year-olds race. Which brings me
in the Derby.
Mm-hmm, which brings me to they're too young. because a lot of people don't even start training their horses to like be under saddle until 2. So you're talking about some of the tallest horses that are being trained so young.
Yeah.
Because they have to get used to the gates, they have to get used to the crowds, they have to get used to the bells.
Well, they have to get used to their jockeys and everything.
Oh
right?
no, they'll switch out jockeys quick. Some of them jockeys do not stay with those horses.
Really?
Mhm.
See, I thought that once you started training a horse, then you like the jockey stayed with that horse unless something happened to either
They
the
will
horse
change
or the
out
jockey.
the jockey. If the jockey does not fit what the owner wants, they'll change them out quick. Which, yeah, and the donkeys are happy.
We don't have donkeys in the Derby.
Hey, Caleb says there's donkeys in the Derby. Okay, there's a bunch of jackasses. So it's okay. So I'm just going to state the facts of the Derby. It starts. It's Saturday, May 3rd. The location, of course, is Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. The post time, which means the start time, is 6:57 p.m. The number of horses is 23-year-old thoroughbreds. The distance is 1 1/4, so 10
Well,
furlongs.
wait, before you go any further, you said 23-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
23-year-old thoroughbreds. Journalism is the morning line favorite.
That's of this year's?
Mm-hmm. The purse is $5 million, so whoever wins. The Triple Crown, the Derby, the Kentucky Derby is the first of the Triple Crown, followed by the Preakness Stakes and Belmont Stakes. And I don't believe many horses have won the Triple Crown.
So this year, Toby Keith actually has a horse in the Kentucky Derby, Rendered Judgment.
Well,
partially owned by Keith's Dream Walking Farm. So, yeah, I mean,
it's by his farm.
Yeah, it's by his farm.
Only 13 horses since the Triple Crown started have won. So that is
the
unreal.
Triple Crown. Okay, so that is
the Preakness and the Belmont.
That's all three
of them. So it says only 13 horses have won the Triple Crown. 1919, 1930, 1935, 1937, 1941, 1943, 1946, 48, 1973, which a lot of people know this horse, Secretariat.
There's a
movie on him.
Movie on that one.
Seattle Slew, Affirmed, American Pharaoh, and Justify. So 2018 is the last time the Triple Crown was won.
So this is Justified. When me and Jimmy spent that Derby down here, and I kept trying to, again, I know nothing about horse racing or anything, but I tried to get him to bet on Justify, and he would not. He bet on something else. I think he bet like a smaller bet on Justify.
Mm-hmm.
And then bet larger on another horse. He should have bet on Justify.
Mm-hmm. And this says that Seabiscuit, a lot of people know Seabiscuit. He never won the Triple Crown.
I don't know Seabiscuit.
Oh, wow. You need to look him up.
Yeah.
He's a very famous horse, which it's so funny because there's so many famous horses that come through. I'm missing comments. Sorry, y'all. There's so many famous horses that come through. I'm going to have to get on my phone and start reading comments because I cannot see all those comments from up there. I'm sorry, you all. Okay.
We were just rolling with the conversation.
We were just talking. So Beneva said, bless you. Thank you, Beneva. Justin and Beneva, we know it's the Triple Crown. Jimmy said, give Weather Guard a plug.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't go to Weather Guard.
Stop.
It's Jimmy's fault. I'm teasing. Go to Weather Guard. Then Jimmy said, give my buddy a balloon.
He's got his own balloon. We just need to blow it up for him.
Exactly. And we're not blowing something up on live. Sorry, buddy. Justin said the Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs is the longest running sporting event in the USA. That's pretty much why it stays there. And all thoroughbreds' birthday is January 1st. Doesn't matter if they are born. Isn't it all horses? It doesn't matter if they're born December 31st. They're still considered 1 year old at January 1st. That's why a lot of breeders.
Why?
So, because it's to do with competitions. So, if there's competitions through that year, that's like a 1 year old competition, or because there's so many like futurities and things like that like only younger horses are allowed in. So that's why like breeders that are actually breeders, horse breeders, they want to breed between like February and May, no later than like mid-May, because they want their horses born January, February, March, no later than late April, because they want their horses to have that whole year and not be born December 31st.
Clearly, I know jack squat about horses.
So quarter
because-
horses, I follow this girl Katie Van Slyke on all of her stuff because I just love watching her horses. They're just beautiful. If you've never watched her, look up her stallion VS Code Red. God, he's gorgeous. But she
Listen, I look at horses like I look at cars. Okay, I can tell you their color, and I can tell you if they're pretty or not. Other than that, that's all you
well,
get from
she
me.
She just had a horse born on December 31st. So as of January 31st, January 1st, he was considered a yearling.
That is just insane to me.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I mean, growing up in Harlan, I knew horses. I've seen horses. We had a rodeo that came through every year, but rodeo horses is the only horses I ever.
That's her stallion.
Like I said, it's pretty.
He's gorgeous.
It's white and brown. That's what I
He's
can
not
tell
white
you
and brown, I
about
promise
it.
you.
It looks it.
Nope.
So
He
what
is,
color is that then?
Oh gosh. He is red, and I know he's undertone red.
There is red is not on that horse.
He's a red roan. I don't know why I couldn't think of the actual color roan. He's a red roan, which means he's a chestnut based coat mixed with white hair. So he's red and white.
I mean, he's pretty.
Like one of his siblings is the fireman, and he's beautiful. He looks just like him. But yeah, that's like horses, the colors of horses. I actually didn't know really anything about colors of horses until I got with Justin and started talking about the color, because I was just like you. I'm like, brown and black. They're, not they're a bay or,
a paint
palomino.
horses and stuff like that.
And a paint doesn't even have to be a paint in quarter horses.
So
They can be
what
double
kind of
registered.
horses has to be for the Derby?
Thoroughbreds.
Thoroughbreds.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that the Oaks as well, or is the Oaks?
It's thoroughbreds. All of them are thoroughbreds. I don't think that you can have a horse that's not a thoroughbred that races, and you wouldn't want them anyway.
And Oaks is basically for because it's all pink. Everybody wears pink, and the horses that run in the Oaks is the fillies, and that's for breast cancer awareness. Correct? They do that for breast cancer awareness, which I think that's wonderful. I think that's great all in its own.
Okay, so it's coats and gildings, which that means that they're cut. They have no genitalia. Like
they
have no balls
that run in the Derby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're coats and gildings, which a coat is not I don't know. Hang on, I might have just misspoke, because a coat doesn't have to be a fixed horse.
A coat, isn't that a baby horse?
Yeah, but a 3-year-old is not a coat. You can go ahead and chit chat. I'm gonna.
Okay, so we'll go back to what
Now
I was
I'm
talking about was the Derby, because that is what
Okay,
today is.
It says a young male horse that is usually not castrated and has not attained an arbitrarily designated age, such as 4. That's what it is. So at 4, they become a stallion, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, a colt is not a castrated horse. So I misspoke. So it doesn't have to be a castrated horse. I was like, why would it say colt or gilding? But it's because of the age of the horse. Because a gilding is a castrated horse.
You're still speaking Chinese to me.
They don't have balls.
So you were talking about the pricing of what the Derby is.
Jimmy said I'm hurting your future because I said no weather guard.
You are hurting my future.
I'm hurting mine too. Who's riding your truck with you? Oh, Justin.
For all of your siding and roofing and windows, all your home improvement needs, contact Weather Guard.
Or Next Gen Construction.
Anyway, so back to it. You were saying that the tickets to
Was that a good enough
Derby
plug
was
for them?
like $200 and something.
220.
Okay, so for Derby, which is why they've probably changed that, look up and see what Oaks is, because I have this one here. Because Derby tickets start at $53, but they can go up to 1,013.
Yeah, Derby can go up to 2,000 or something is what it said.
So this is Derby tickets, which is way cheaper than what the actual Derby is. So Oaks is, Kristen is getting that information for us.
What am I? Oh, are you wanting to know the price?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. No service charges and lowest prices. $282.
To
$112. What the heck am I looking at?
get into the Oaks?
So Kentucky Derby is $220. The average ticket in 2024 was $1,254.
That's the Derby.
Yes. Hold on. It's what the crap?
So while she is trying to find that, I found something that's very interesting. In order to enter your horse, what does it cost to enter your horse in the Kentucky
Oh, it's a
Derby?
lot.
Yes. So to be able to enter your horse in the Kentucky Derby, it's $25,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. Like I'm choking right now over that.
And you sit there though, and you looked at the people that own these horses. That's why people with money own these horses.
Well, yeah, I would say so.
But it's funny because there is horses that are good enough that people just don't have the money to put them in.
So it says it costs $25,000 to enter a horse in the Kentucky Derby and $25,000 to actually start in the race. Plus, there is a minimum of a $600 Triple Crown nomination fee. So, I mean, yeah, you have to.
Good luck finding the ticket price for the Oaks.
According to the Kentucky Derby, Hernandez, because it says, how much does the jockey get paid for winning the Kentucky Derby? So Hernandez, Mystic Dan, he rode on Mystic Dan, and he got $310,000 for riding and winning the Derby. Holy crap! I want to be a jockey.
$640.
That can't be right. It can't be cheaper than or more expensive than.
That's on Ticketmaster.
Ticketmaster's always higher, I feel like.
The infield is $146 for general admission. It is $146. Standing room only.
That is,
Crazy.
it's what
146.
So it used to be cheaper, like what Derby is.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be cheaper on Oaks to go, especially in the infield.
So this says Kentucky Oaks schedule and ticket prices as of May 2nd are $282 to $112.
That is insane.
I'm not sure why I said that backwards, but I did.
That is insane to me. That's why I will probably, I don't know. I will say I'll probably never go to the Derby. Maybe one time in my life. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I have been in the infield and we went on Oaks Day, but I would like to maybe go to the actual Kentucky Derby to see. But then again, I don't know if I want to because Louisville is so completely insane
On the Derby, yeah.
during this time of year.
Well, and that's like Thunder of Louisville. I used to love going to Thunder of Louisville, and then people ruined it for me because I don't do crowds. For one, I hate crowds, but just the rudeness.
Mm-hmm.
Crowds
Nobody
really
has
any manners.
bothered me. I don't like driving in a lot of traffic. No,
Yeah.
if I don't have to drive in a lot of traffic, I'm fine with crowds.
That's like tomorrow we're going to the Shinedown concert, and I'm so excited, but I do not want to drive in Lexington, especially tomorrow.
That is crazy because Lexington does not bother me one bit to drive in Lexington.
Well, it's not bad, but you don't drive a very big vehicle either.
I don't, but I feel like
their roads are like this big, like toward. Toward the Rupp Arena.
Yeah.
The roads are so narrow. I'm like, you would smack mirrors. If a truck and my Escalade got beside each other, you're smacking mirrors all the way down the road.
I think driving in Louisville or Lexington doesn't bother me because growing up in Harlan, if we ever went anywhere, like big city wise,
Mhm.
Lexington was the place that we went.
Yeah.
So I'm more familiar with Lexington now. I have been to Louisville probably more since I've lived in Bardstown, but I absolutely hate driving in Louisville on a regular day.
Yeah.
So I've been to Thunder Over Louisville once. I had a blast there. Hated, hated, hated trying to get out of there.
See, I used to go to over Louisville all the time, and like I think the only kid I've ever taken was my oldest. So if that tells you how long it's been since I've gone. But we had one year, we went to the Galt House
Mhm.
and stayed. And you want to talk about expensive.
Oh, I bet.
But
It's
if you get a
insane.
party room and you split it, it's not that bad. But it is the most beautiful fireworks show. But it is the most obnoxious people.
It is. And I feel like the Derby is probably the same way. And I
Yeah.
don't know,
Well,
like
you're talking like when I worked the infield, I was a cheerleader, so I was in high school. I think it was my senior year, so I was maybe 17. We had to dress in like black dress pants and like a white button up, pouring
mhm.
down rain. Of course, they put you under an awning, and in our awning, you had like rubber mats you could walk on, but it was flooded. Like, I mean, the infield floods because the water has to drain, and we were in mud and everything in dress pants and dress shoes, and we had to stay like that the entire day. And you were messing with people that were just like trashed. I mean, trash.
I mean, being a bar owner,
that don't bother you.
yeah, I've
And it
been
don't bother
around
me, but I was
drunk
a kid at the
people all the
time.
time. True. Um, but I feel like I don't know. I don't. People just this day and time, and maybe it's always been like that. I don't know. I have no words to say about.
How rude people have gotten.
Yeah, I have no words with it.
Well, and
Alcohol mixture or not, that's just
Well,
how
and the
they
bad part
are.
is alcohol either makes you like emotional, happy, or mad.
Yeah,
You're never just like a chill person. I've never
right.
seen a chill drunk ever. Um, and it's funny though because uh, you go to from the infield to like up in the stands, you feel better.
Okay.
And it's just a totally different atmosphere. Because we would have to go up there with our cash and stuff and change everything in and
So the reason that I would
crazy.
even want to go to the Derby is to dress up. Like you see
Ooh,
these
we should go next
people,
year.
you see these people that are just dressed to the nine
Mm-hmm.
with their outfits and their big old hats or their
Yep.
big old fasteners or whatever they put on their heads.
Oh, I know.
And I love it. Like I love I love that seeing that aspect of it. Again, I'm not a bettor, so the race itself doesn't excite me. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess I don't want to say that because I have bet a little bit here and there on different horses, and I get super excited and will cheer on regardless.
Yeah.
If I'm winning 50 cents or $1, I'm gonna
I'm the
cheer.
same way. Yeah.
But I get that there are people that
Get off that.
spend a lot of money
Off of it.
betting and doing derby.
Yeah.
But for me,
You're not married to
personally,
one, are you?
huh?
I said you're not married to one, are you?
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's not talk about that.
Weather guard, y'all.
For-
Weather guard.
For me, I would personally just like to go just to dress up.
Yeah, and I think so I have several friends that go and they like them or their wives or whatever, they look so cute. Like and their wives look so beautiful. I have a friend on my Facebook right now that is she had to get to a certain weight because there's this dress she wants to wear. And like she's one of those really, really, really pretty women. Like she was my realtor. I love her. And she is one of them people that can pull off a hat. But I'm telling you what, or not a hat, whatever you want to call those like big bushy things they put on their heads. But
So there's the hats and then there's the fasteners.
yeah. But she can pull it off. And there's
So
some
it
people that
says
put 'em
on here. It says on here that of the derby hat tradition, that the hats were considered to be a sign of good luck. So people thought the bigger the hat, the bigger the luck. So that where the brims come into play, and it just stuck out like it just stuck with
It's kind of like bangs in the South. The higher the bang, the closer to heaven.
Yeah. So I guess that people think that the hats Let's see. The audacious hats of today's races emerged as the race becomes televised, according to the Derby historians. To stand out from the crowd, women began wearing louder and more extravagant hats. Today, remarkable hats are still featured on televisions across the country.
Well, you know
That's
something else
crazy.
too, though. All these women wear white to the Derby. I'm like, as soon as I put on white, it's ruined. Like, I could not imagine wearing white because I
Especially in
ruined
a
white.
muddy, rainy.
Mhm.
I
Even
don't
even not
know.
if it's muddy because the
Maybe a
dust.
handful of times it's not rained on Derby, I feel like. I feel like most of the time
It
it's
usually
either
always rains
rain
on it.
on Derby or around Derby.
Usually, I think it's raining on Oaks. Derby, and see, the thing is that track is like made to drain. So the
So,
track, it'll get muddy, but it's not going to be as muddy as just the regular ground
yeah.
because it's made to drain. Which is why the infield and stuff it'll get soaking wet because of that. But it's also more dangerous for those horses to race on that. And that's another reason a lot of people are against it is because of horses that get injured.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been there when a horse has been injured because they have races all throughout the year, and they'll have to put them down right there on the field and on the track, and that just to me that's so heartbreaking. So I get why people don't like horse racing. I wish they would wait till the horse was a little bit older, but it's a sport,
Mm-hmm.
and people are going to do it
They're going to
regardless.
do it, yeah. So it says here that one of the original founders of the Louisville Jockey Club and builders of Churchill Downs, Colonel
Colonel.
Meriwether Lewis Clark Jr. envisioned the Kentucky Derby to be an event for the upper class. This meant attendees had to wear extravagant outfits, and fashion quickly became a staple for the event. So that's why everybody dresses
Mm-hmm.
to the T's when it comes
Well, and if you're
Derby
spending
day.
that much money,
Like
and
me, I
betting
went
so
to
much money,
Keeneland and I had on, I think, like khakis and a shirt. So.
yeah. See, that's my problem. I'm not a person that dresses up.
I like to dress up. I just did not understand
I,
that whole. And when I went to Keeneland, it was nowhere near Derby time. I think it was just a
Yeah.
regular horse race, So we didn't have to dress up. But I would like to attend, just to dress up
Why
because
don't
I
we go
like to
next
dress
year?
up.
We'll go to Derby next year.
Only if you can get me up out of the infield. I don't want to be in the infield.
I don't want to be in the infield. I'm saying let's go to the Derby. Like, let's go to the Derby. Not, ouch, you're hurting me, honey.
They have.
Sorry, I have a 3-year-old laying on my legs.
They have. I mean, you can get tickets to the Derby in the infield as well, right?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Which I mean,
Now I know they also have boxes. Is that what they're called?
yeah.
Available.
Oh well, that's for the celebrities.
I mean, I feel like I could be a celebrity to.
Oh, we could totally try it,
To
but I don't
go
know if it
and
would.
rub elbows with Kid Rock. Hell
Maybe-
yeah, I'm in.
Hey, maybe next year somebody will share our stuff enough that we can be a celebrity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we can do
But
that.
yeah, I mean, I was trying to look at the horses that are running the Derby this year because the odds, they're unreal this year for the Derby. So
I think that.
who are you all betting on? Because I need some ideas. I can't lose
I always
money. I
go
need to
by
gain
their
it.
name.
Um,
Okay, so here we go. Here's the Kentucky Derby 2025 field post positions and odds.
you probably just read the horse.
Citizen Bull.
Go ahead and say that one.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to.
Neo Equus. It's NEOEQUO3. 3S. Whatever. So Citizen Bull is 20-1. That Neo whatever is 30-1. Final Gambit is 30-1.
Rodriguez.
12-1. American Promise 30-1.
Okay, so wait, let me pause you right here because these odds.
Mm-hmm.
What are the odds exactly? So when you say 30-1, what does that mean? So you don't know either?
Mm-mm.
See, Jimmy tried to explain it to me
Oh,
one
okay. So
time.
journalism enters the event as the favorite at 3-1. So the lower the odds are against the horse, the better. So 30 to 1 is not good. 12 to 1 isn't bad. American Promise 30 to 1. Admire Daytona 30 to 1. Luxor Cafe 15 to 1. Journalism 3 to 1. Burnham
Burnham
Square
Square.
12 to 1. Grande 12 to 1 or 20 to 1. I'm so sorry. Flying Mohawk 30 to 1.
That's
I'm
gonna be
totally
my
betting on that
horse.
one. I always bet on horse 7 or the pink horse or the pink blanket. East Avenue 20 to 1. Publisher 20 to 1. Tistastic 20 to 1. Render Judgment 30 to 1.
Render Judgment is Toby Keith's farm's horse.
Okay. Coal Battle 30 to 1. There's your horse. Sandman 6 to 1. Sovereignty 5 to 1. Chunk of Gold 30 to 1. And Owen Almighty 30 to 1. So it looks to me like nobody has very good odds.
I was going to say none of these odds sound like tremendously great odds, except Journalism. Rodriguez is not that bad. But again, with the rain and everything that could come in, that changes, right? And then you have the ones that are scratched. I know that some of them scratch before they even get up to the gate, so they don't even get to run.
Yeah. The top three contenders are Journalism, Sovereignty, and Sandman with 3 to 1, 5 to 1, and 6 to 1. And then the other notable horses are Rodriguez, Luxor Cafe, Burnham Square, Citizen Bull, and Tistastic. So odds as probability. Horse racing odds present the probability of a horse winning according to the betting public and odds maker. Higher odds, lower probability. So horses with the odds of 30 to 1 are considered less likely to win. The lower the odds, like 3 to 1, are considered more likely to win. And then the payout potential odds also indicate the payout, which I did know that. For example, 7 to 2 odds means $2 bet wins $7 in profit.
So here's what I don't understand also. Clearly, there's a lot that I don't understand about the Derby. But,
and then it says $2 bet on a 3 to 1 horse would return $8.
So if you win.
So I don't know what that means either.
If you win the Kentucky Derby. Now, do they test these horses before they get to run?
What do you mean?
Because here's this article,
like that?
Yeah, yes. Because this article here just said that Medina Spirit was stripped of its winnings following the second positive test. So, are they not tested before they get to run? They're only tested if they win?
No, they're tested before, but I think it is if there is suspicion. But I also know that they do test them before or after pretty much every race.
So if you win,
because you could give your horse,
I have always
you could give your horse some kind of like an upper right before they go on.
So this is something that I have always wondered, because I knew that if they tested positive or whatever, then their title got yanked from them. I did know that, but what happens to those ones, because that doesn't happen for like a couple of days after the race. So if you bet, say, on this horse right here, and this horse right here wins the race, wins the Derby, and you get your payout, but then 2, 3, 4 days later, whatever it is, they say they strip them from that winning because they've tested positive for whatever. So they no longer have that title. Do you get to keep your winnings, or do you have to pay back?
Okay, so this, I'm going to just read this. It's pretty long, but it says drug testing for the 2025 Kentucky Derby is crucial.
You got to slow down, because ain't nobody can understand you, Jimmy Hillard.
Is a crucial part of ensuring fair competition and the safety of the horses. Here's what you need to know. Drug Testing Authority. The Kentucky Horse Racing Commission oversees drug testing for the Kentucky Derby. They are authorized to test for various substances, including blood doping agents, venoms, growth hormones, and other prohibited substances. The Kentucky Horse Racing Commission also prohibits the possession of these substances, along with whole blood or packed red blood cells, at any facility under their jurisdiction. Out of competition testing, the Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Authority conducts out of competition blood and hair samples of horses competing in the Kentucky Derby and other races
They take hair samples too.
before entries and are even taken. These samples are sent to the HISA certified laboratory for testing. Availability for testing. A horse designated for testing must be made available for sampling at a mutually agreed upon location within 6 hours of notification. Failure to cooperate within the KHRC, including not making the horse available for testing, will result in penalties.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
So if like somebody says to the officials,
I think this horse
I
is
think
being
this
doped.
horse is, so then they have such a long
Mhm.
time frame, or in a time
And
frame,
they
they have to bring the
care,
horse in.
like blood samples and stuff, it's just probably the same as humans. Like blood, urine samples, it leaves that quicker than your hair.
But here, and I'm going to look this up because I want to know is if you get to keep your winnings, if your
I'm
horse
working
is
on it. That's part of
disqualified.
it. That's part of the reading.
Skip on down to it.
Well, positive test results and penalties. A positive test for a prohibited substance results in notification of the owner and trainer, placement of the horse on the veterinarian's list, and the steward's hearing. The owner trainer can result a split sample analysis. Confirmed violations lead to serious penalties, potentially including license revocation for 5 to 10 years for the owner.
So that means that they cannot enter a horse into Derby for 5 to 10 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The owner can't. These regulations and procedures are designed to maintain fairness and safeguards the health of the horses and participating in the Kentucky Derby. So it's basically for the horse's safety, but it's also to make sure that nobody cheats for the Derby, because there has been a lot of people that do it. And yeah, they are stripped of their winning.
Okay, so this is I was going to say, as of May 12, 2021. That year, Derby is over and the rules are the same as they've always were. If your horse is disqualified immediately after the race, you lose your bet. But if the disqualification comes a day, a week, or 4 years later, you get to keep your winnings.
Which, how could it come 4 years later?
I guess it's happened.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that just means like it doesn't matter if it comes 20 years down the road,
you still get to keep your winnings.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, I think I'm gonna bet on Flying Mohawk.
So it says here, do you get to your money back if your horse doesn't race? No. Before a final field, it is all in betting. If for whatever reason the horse doesn't run, you have lost your money. Period. So I guess that means if a horse scratches and you've already placed that bet after the all in run, then you're done for.
And this comes all down to Saturday at Long Branch Saloon. There is going to be a Derby party.
Yes, we have Derby. We have the TVs playing Derby here, watching Derby.
You're gonna play Derby. We want to watch all y'all drunks run down the middle of the bar.
Bring your stick horses.
Oh my gosh! You know, so that's funny that you say that. There's actually when I was in school,
that would be so much fun.
When I was in school, we had stick horse races. Did you ever do that?
No, because we did not know anything about the Derby.
So
remember?
When I was in school, we did stick horse races, and you would have to like decorate your own stick horse.
Dylan had to decorate his stick horse. He did floats, and then he had to do a stick horse one year.
And see, that used to be a big thing because there used to be a big parade and all kinds of stuff. And this year, it was kind of all ruined from the flood because Louisville flooded like
horribly
super bad. They closed the 2nd Street flood gate. And that's the second time they've closed it in like so many years.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, Louisville flooded extremely bad. A lot of people heard about the restaurant on the news that flooded their building on the inside.
Captain Quarters.
Yes.
With clean water.
So they kept the mucky water out with clean water, which is crazy to me. Because he was like, well, it'll be easier to clean out clean water than it is to clean out dirty water.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how did you seal your building up to do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, because you couldn't run water that quick inside the building to keep up with the floodwater rising.
No, they said that as soon as they were told, because apparently Captain Quarters is something that always floods.
It always floods, yeah.
So
right on the river.
As soon as they said flooding was coming, then they said that they turned on their sinks and like all water valves and everything, locked up the doors and just let it go.
Yeah. But I think that was so smart. But they did say if it got so high that the pressure from because the density of that water would push its way in.
Still come in.
And I'm sitting here like, still, you're going to have more clean water than dirty water. So It's going
Yeah.
to be so much easier to clean out. And that it was. All they had to do is let the water go
Mm-hmm.
and dry it out. That's all they had to do. And I'm sitting here like, how flippin' smart.
Yeah, I know people had told us that that's what we should
I
look
don't
into
see how y'all
doing.
could.
We couldn't. There's no way
The
because
flood
our
and you're like, there's no insulation or nothing.
there's
so
not, but ours raises from the bottom.
That's what I'm
Like we get it
saying.
from the back, we get it from the side, and we get it
Mhm.
from the bottom. So there's no way.
And the way it comes in this building is so weird because it comes up like first in the back, but then it'll start coming in from the front,
Mhm.
and then it comes in from the back. It's like, what in the
What is
Sam hell?
exactly going on? Yeah.
But it's unique. I mean, we probably could do it,
We
and
would have to figure out a way
and
to.
well, you could probably keep more of the
Well,
water
no,
out.
because we had the holes in our floor for drainage. So if
But that's what
we
I'm saying though. Like if you put water in here, it would probably mix a little bit, but it wouldn't be near as damaging. But with it being mostly wood in here, the less time the water's in here, the better.
Mhm.
So I mean,
we couldn't
it's like
just let it sit. It
I think
wouldn't.
next time though, you need to take the hose and just scrub everything, and then let it all go. That's what y'all should do while it's draining, while it's all still wet.
Oh well, they did that
Just-
a lot. They
Yeah.
the girls did get a hose and start with a broom and just
Yeah,
spraying and
I didn't get to get out here. I'm sorry.
scooping as it was going
Um,
down.
But
So
yeah,
and that did make that made a big difference in
Squirrel.
happening to clean our
Squirrel.
floors.
But yeah, I think that's a unique idea. But yeah, like Thunder of Louisville couldn't happen. There's several things in Louisville that just didn't get to happen this year.
That happened
And-
around Derby.
Yeah,
We'll get back on
because
subject now.
because the whole week before Derby, there is events every single day.
They have the
um,
balloon
The
glow.
balloon race. The balloon glow, the balloon race, Thunder of Louisville. There's some form of parade, Derby, Oaks, and Derby.
Mm-hmm.
But it happens like Thunder of Louisville was supposed to happen, a few weeks before, and that was when the flood happened. So,
And I don't understand that either, really. I would think you would think that since it is a Derby event, and I know that it kicks off the Derby, but since it's a Derby event, you would think that they would have it maybe just like the weekend before.
the more money,
Mm.
more money, more revenue.
Yeah.
Bring more people to the city, which that's something else a lot of people don't realize. In Louisville, if you drive around Louisville, and there's even one out here. I think it might be Nelson County, but there's horse statues all over.
All over, yeah.
And then there's horse
People
pens you
will
collect.
let you pay them to park in their yard, like their
Yes.
little yard at home at their house.
And a lot of people make bank off of it during
Oh,
Derby.
guaranteed.
Because they'll charge $20 to $30, and the closer they live to the Churchill Downs, the more you pay. Which
Mhm.
I've always thought it's cheaper to take a taxi than to pay to park out there, or an Uber. But my niece lives out there, so I would just be like, "Hey, Maddie, come to park in your yard." But I couldn't park in her yard. She don't have a driveway, but that would be interesting. But we'd be four-wheeling it up into the yard. But the pins you collect.
Mm-hmm.
And what year is this Derby? 100 and something.
151.
Okay, because last year was 150th. Because I have the actual. Did you know they made a Barbie doll last year, a collector?
For the Derby?
Yes.
No.
I have it. I'll have to send you a picture of it. It's beautiful. Because I collect dolls. But they have the Kentucky Derby had a doll last year.
That's cool. So, like a Barbie doll or
Yes, they're
a
collectors.
horse?
They're collector dolls. Yes, they're Barbie dolls. Have you ever seen like the holiday Barbie dolls that are
Mhm.
collectors? It's just like that, but for Derby.
So you were talking about it's cheaper to get a taxi. I will say that I do believe Bardstown City Taxi will take you to and from the Derby. I think this is like one of their busiest weeks, so they will take you to and from the Derby. They will actually take you to and from the airport. If you're flying in for the Derby or anything,
And that's-
contact Bardstown City
Yes,
Taxi.
and that's something else. Do not drink and drive. There is
No.
too many forms of transportation. There's too many people getting killed by drunks. Stop getting on the road drunk. There is too many ways, too many people to call. There is no
And there's
excuse.
taxis all around Louisville too. I mean, there's
Well,
taxi services all around Louisville too.
There's Ubers,
Mhm.
taxis. I mean,
I
there
forget
is.
about Ubers.
Mhm. There is way too many ways. My gosh, I will take you. Like, I mean, it does not matter. There is no reason whatsoever, because I always look at it as in, you're going to get on the road and you're going to kill somebody. We all get lucky once. Like,
That's why we say drink responsibly, but
Tip
tip
recklessly.
recklessly.
yes.
Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in for our endless discussion of rambling on about the Derby week.
Yeah, and come to Long Branch.
Yeah,
Party with
we
us.
will have a Derby party here at Long Branch if you don't want to go fight the crowds in Louisville, which I don't know. I would not want to.
No.
Come down here to Long Branch and hang out with us.
Sherwood, they'll have stuff
Sherwood
too.
has stuff going on.
Because I mean, we always bounce between. Like New Year's Eve, we went
Back
over to
and forth.
Sherwood, and she owns Long Branch, and we still went over there
Yeah,
and
back and forth.
patronized.
It's fun.
Yeah, because bless you or excuse you, I'm not sure. But we always bounce back and forth, and New Haven's so not busy that
you can do that.
So come down here and party, have some fun with us.
Yeah,
it'll be.
We'll be here all day, Oaks and Derby.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.